Alright, so this is my fourth video on the Novation Circuit Tracks. One thing I've been playing around with recently before I get into it actually is this guy. This gives me a lot of things. I'll show you what I can do with it. So one of the first things is chromatic sample plan. And the ability to switch sounds, which is really nice. Another thing it gives me is if you are in channel 11 and you turn the new settings off, the pajen software off, you can polyphonically sequence the parts. So if we take that hi-hat and we put a kick there and a kick there and a snare there and there, so there you've got polyphonic drum sequencing. And if I find the sound that we used, I don't know what the hell that was, but if we find the sound that we used, what's that? Lovely. Yeah, that's really cool. The third thing it gives you is the ability, again if you're on the right MIDI channel, gives you the ability to play polyphonically. So if I was to select the sound, let's select this one and something that sounds like a note. That'll do for now. And then I think I'll loop that as well. Some kind of instrument there. I think what I'll do is I'll move closer to this so you can see what I'm doing on here a little bit as well. And then from here you want to copy the parts. So you would go into here and just highlight those three. Now they're highlighted. Now if you go into Omni and Polyphony 4, so now we're able to play polyphonically. So that is really good. If you can't afford the tracks, I think the korg volca sample with that pajen software is the next step. Okay, so let's try and get into this one. The first one is to do with automating sample lengths. So if we make a new project and we put a little kick in, if we go to the samples, or at least this one is very long. So if I make the gate longer, the pattern setting longer, you can see it stretching. But let's say we wanted it to end here. There's no real way of doing it apart from putting in another note, but what I've worked out is if you're on velocity and you've got this on full length, then on here you could say no length. There you go. So like when I used to use a tracker back in the day when I first started doing music, there used to be a little symbol and you used to put it there to instantly stop a note there. That will kill it, that will stop it dead. That's brilliant. So that's one cool trick. The next one, yeah, so I've done a couple of things mentioning resetting the drum positions on here. So if you was again to do here, let's get rid of this one. If you mess these up, like that, if you wanted to clear one you could go into velocity, press record, you could hold clear, and you could turn it to the right. If you turn all of these to the right, it's locked it. Now, it's going to continue on these ones because we haven't set it, but if we set first one doesn't move, so that's really good. If you've got a quick pattern, if I was to do a quick one on a new project again, whoops, so if we had something like that and we wanted to make these snares on different pitches, what I would do is lock this one first. Now this one, and this one. So that's good. I tend to lock the steps before I do the next ones, which is really cool. Hold second, please. Okay, no problem. Right, and then the last one, this is kind of a big one that I've noticed actually. Let's say you was putting in some kind of melody. If I went to drum 1, I'll do. Right, so it's really hard to tune these to how you want them. If I had a bass line behind this, this last one's out of tune. So if you press record and hold it, again, there you go. So you need to lock that. You need to lock it, so hold the note, press clear, turn everything to the right. That's locked. Now, if we hold this, and we can do this with every note. So let's take out the ones that we don't like. Alright, so for now, I mean that's good enough. Okay, and then last one was, I've got this tune. Now you can switch from project to project holding shift. One thing I found is quite useful is if you switch to an empty blank pattern. Get all this weird behaviour. hear it catching up. And I reckon that's because there's no tempo on there. If I was to put something on there, let's say we duplicated that to that. So we went save and there. So now we've got two. Now let's mute everything on here. Save it. And now let's try. And there you go. You've got to watch out that the beginning of the note catches. So that is it for the circuit tips and tricks. Hopefully someone finds this useful. Like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll do more.